Hi, welcome to this video. It's about the EGR Cooler repair, or the vacuum box repair for a Vauxhall Insignia 2 litre CDTI. It's an elite model from 2011. I noticed it had some coolant smells and some steam coming from under the bonnet a few times. Sometimes a puff of steam coming out the back. Further investigation led me to look underneath the bonnet a bit closer. I thought it was coming from by the turbo. But in the end it turns out that it was coming from this EGR Cooler housing and squirting up behind the exhaust cover, the exhaust guard, and I'll show you how I repair that in this video. The part I got for £35. It's just a plastic box, you don't need the full EGR valve, from CES, Chester Exhaust Supplies. Main dealer was quoting £250 to do the repair, including the part, and a local garage was going to charge £140. I thought I'd give it a go myself. I'm not a mechanic, so if you're not a mechanic and you don't feel confident, take it to a garage, take it to a dealer, and get them to do it properly. I'll show you the video now of the fault itself, where it squirts from, and then the steps I took to actually repair it. Hope the video helps you anyway.
I saw a lot of water in here, just built in the top of that little hole there on that cover, and also a lot of steam rising out of here. So EGR Cooler repair, and with it you get the two gaskets and the plastic case. This is the bag it comes in. And the first step is to remove this cover so that I can see what's down here. I don't know if I need to remove it, but I will anyway, just get a bit more space. There's one bolt there, one bolt there, one bolt there, and a bolt there. It's actually a nut, not a bolt. So I think if I remember, it's 10mm. Two the same size, these back two. The short one is the one that bolts into the turbo, and then you've got the nuts which you know. And that frees us off. These bundle of cables. I may have to remove the dipstick housing as well, the pipe for that, the bracket for it at least, and then take the rest of the stuff off. And there's a tie wrap there that I'm going to take off, and then I've got this housing, this loom here, which I'll take off from there. To do that I'll have to remove the plug off the top of that, this plug, and then I'll remove this plug as well from the EGR solenoid as well. But now I've noticed that there's 3 Torx screws, size 20 Torx, and one of them is on the middle of the plate just there. If we highlight that to you, just there, and there's another 2, one just at the back there and one just at the back here. So that will lift that plate off that holds the connectors. That holds that onto the top of the. So once I've undone 3 screws, there's that silver clip which holds that little flexi conduit down. The little clip goes all the way underneath. Let's see if I can show you that. So it sticks out the other end. So when you lift the plate up, you've got the little plate, and the whole thing has to come out. There's also another clip there that needs to be cut away, and then this loom can be moved out of the way. You can see the vacuum pipes that come onto the top of the housing as well. They go off into different directions. This bolt here is for the dipstick mounting, so we'll have to take that out as well. So as you can see, this bolt that holds the dipstick, that is a 10mm, so I'm just going to undo that. Is to remove the 5 bolts from the housing. If you look at it the right way up, that's the top. You'll see that there's the 5 bolts there. If you look at it from the back, like I would look at it from standing here, that's it there, same model. There's one at the top left, one at the bottom right, one at the bottom left and right, sorry, one at the top right. There's the bolt in the middle in that little hole as well, which you can see if I hold that up there. And then also we need to take care that there's 3 vacuum hoses there as well, and there may even be another vacuum hose on the side. So the first bolt I'm going to take out. The first bolt is the top left, and it is T30. So there's not much on it. You don't need to give it much welly for it to start. And I'm going to move my way around. They're going to be awkward, so I've got to use some extension pieces and things like that for this socket. Is that one off? So that's both vacuum pipes off. The front one. The long bolt from the middle, that on there. Here, I'm just trying to get it out without dropping it down. That's the inside of the cooler housing, or the vacuum unit they call it, I think, or something. You see a little bit of coolant in there still. The gasket isn't on the edge there, so that's missing. It's likely to be on this, which is what was inside inside that unit. So you can see that gasket there. When we get the new one on, we'll fit it into the slot on there, and then mount this plate back on there when we pop it back in and refit it. You can see the old gasket, and this is where the metal plate goes that contains the cooler, which sticks into the plastic housing. So this gasket here needs to come off. See a little tag on the top there. That's what sticks out of the top of the aluminium gasket root, so that you can see where to aim it and get caught and pinched in the wrong place. Is maybe, you see how easily that fell out. And if I'm, so the vacuum box has several pipes on it, as I've shown you already. Those two, this one's blanked off, so I'm just going to move that blank across to the middle one. So I move that across. I'm going to move that into the middle vacuum port on that. Just to take this matrix out, the cooler matrix. So this is the old body. We'll have a look at the crack in that afterwards. And you can see there the old gasket, so I'm going to peel that off because you don't need that. I'm just going to make sure that there's nothing around the edge where that gasket goes. That'll stop it from sealing. So what I need to do now, I need to put this part into there using the same bolt holes and locators, and you'll see now that that gasket is pinched nicely, or sealed nicely, in between those two plates. Now the challenge I've got is to get that onto the front of the engine without upsetting the gasket that's on that one. So what I might try and do, I might try and put in the top 2 bolts first. So that's the bottom, that's the top. Can't for the life of me remember how I got this out. There we go. So that's in. So that's the top 2 bolts gone in now. So I'm going to have a look underneath now, just to make sure that the gasket has not popped out and isn't being pinched in the wrong place underneath. So I should be able to see the orange poking out if there is any problem. If it's not, it should be okay.
That's the 5 bolts back in on the body of the unit. Now it's time just to fix back the vacuum hoses to it and make sure that they're all sat in place properly. I think I'll do that before I put the plate on the top.
So this is the vacuum pipe I took off the side of the unit. This vacuum pipe here goes to the frontmost connector, and then there's another vacuum pipe here which goes to the rearmost. So that's that one there. Yeah. So now I've got to put the dipstick dipstick tube bolt back in. That goes here. You can see where I bent the dipstick tube out of the way. I'll put that into there, line it up and pop the bolt through.
Okay, so I've just put the dipstick back in, the dipstick clip screw, that's gone back in. And now I've just put in 3 bolts that fix to the top. If I just show you that on the old housing, that's those 3 bolts there. If I just tip one over, 1, 2 and 3. They don't look like bolts, they're screws. They're like self-tapper screws, they are. With a 20, I think it's a 20 T20 torqued head. And now it's just all the cable ties and everything else to put back in place, I think. But before I put the exhaust cover back on again, the heat shield, if you like, the turbo heat shield, I'm just going to check for leaks and make sure that everything's okay. And then I'll turn it over with the cap off to let it bleed through some of the pipes. I think that's, once that's doing that, then I'll be able to see if there's any leaking around the bottom, the underside of the box, the vacuum box. Okay, so as you can hear, the engine is running properly. I haven't seen any leaks. I'll put everything back together again. So that looks okay. It's not losing any, there's no more squirting back through the top, through the overflow.